Hello everyone, I'm 18 Storm Track meteorologist Austin Haskins. It was a warm and very humid day across western Wisconsin on our Thursday. We had a little bit of light rain showers in parts of the area, mainly south and west of Eau Claire early in the day, but the afternoon hours ended up staying dry for basically everyone, and we had highs in those mid to upper 80s. Got to 88 in Eau Claire, Chautauqua, and Menominee, 89 in Black River Falls. Average high this time of the year is in the low 80s, so we were a little bit above that. It did feel a little bit warmer at times as we had those dew points yesterday in the upper 60s to near 70 degrees. And the heat index at times did get to about 90, 91 degrees in western Wisconsin. Maybe some got up to about 92, but it's going to be even a little bit hotter and even a little more humid than that for today. You'll see that here coming up. We're then tracking shower and storm chances late tonight into Saturday, followed by a more typical summer-like pattern after our chance for showers and storms on Saturday. So big picture this morning shows a couple areas of low pressure out to our west, a nasty complex of storms that is gradually weakening now as it moves into Minnesota just after 7 a.m. But it did produce wind gusts of 60 to 80 miles per hour, possibly even a few isolated gusts over that in North Dakota overnight into early this morning. Now this line is expected to stay north of our area, but some of the clouds from this could actually hinder our temperatures a little bit for today, which is one reason why we do not have any heat alerts in place for western Wisconsin, though there are heat alerts over to our east towards areas east of Stevens Point and Wisconsin Rapids over towards Green Bay. We have heat alerts up around Ashland and Hayward over towards Hinckley, and then down Interstate 35 to the Twin Cities and Faribault, and then south and west. Now, if we end up seeing a little more sunshine earlier in the late morning and afternoon hours, if those clouds break up a little bit quicker, then I do see the possibility of a heat advisory maybe being added at that point. But either way, today we are looking at that heat risk in that moderate to major category across the region, as highs will be in the mid 80s to low 90s, dew points low to mid 70s, which could push the heat index as high as 95 to 102 degrees. Now for tomorrow, it's in the moderate category, and a lot of that is because temperatures will be cooler, although dew points are still going to be up around 70 degrees. So we're in that moderate territory. So again, if you are going to be outdoors, and especially today, be sure to be taking the necessary precautions to keep cool, drinking plenty of water, finding an air-conditioned environment, things like that. Also, keep in mind, too, checking on your friends, your pets, your neighbors, and also do not leave your pets or children in vehicles for any length of time. As you can see here on the temperature dew point feels like forecast for Eau Claire today. We're looking at a forecasted high of 92 degrees, but the dew points you can see as high as about 73, 74 degrees, which could push the heat index up to near 100, if not maybe slightly higher than that. Now, sometimes this does tend to run slightly higher than what the actual feels like temperature is, but the idea is that the heat index today, 95 to 100, maybe sneaking up to 102 at the highest. And then you can see for tomorrow, why that heat risk is down is because highs will only be in the lower to middle 80s, dew points around 70, so those feels like temperatures as high as about 85 to 88 degrees. But also, we could even be cooler than that tomorrow depending on cloud coverage and shower and storm chances as well. Now, dew points going forward, they are going to stay very high through at least Sunday. Now, next week, it comes down a little bit, not into the 50s or 40s like we had, but at least back into the 60s, maybe even a little bit lower than that by Wednesday and Thursday. So we get back down to the humid to very humid category, but it's still likely going to see those dew points staying above 60 for the foreseeable future. So let's look at future track, and a lot of clouds again, but we should see it break up into the afternoon hours. And then tonight, this is when we got to watch the forecast at least a little bit, and more or less that there's still some question marks. So that lid in the atmosphere, the cap is what we call it, is still going to be pretty strong at this point in time. But after midnight, and more so even after about 2 o'clock in the morning, we should start to see that cap start to break a little bit as a cold front comes through. And this indicates a line of storms coming through here as we get towards that 5 to 7 a.m. time frame tomorrow morning. And then we could actually see more storm development into the afternoon hours on our Saturday. But it has everything out of here by, 4 or 5 o'clock Saturday afternoon. And the rest of Saturday night is quiet into Sunday morning, though we could have some thicker clouds and areas of fog developing. Now, the HRRR shows a few of those little sprinkles and showers moving through here this morning, but it shows enough clearing this afternoon that we should get up into those lower 90s and upper 80s. Does show a few showers south and east, but I'm not really sold on that. But this one tonight shows a complex of storms to our north and east, and then not a ton of development until we get into tomorrow morning. And even this does not look all that impressive, but we could see periods of showers and storms and even some heavy rainfall continuing into the afternoon before it ends as we get into Saturday evening and Saturday night itself, outside of maybe a little bit of rain southeast of the Chippewa River. But we do have a risk for a few strong to severe storms as well. So the Storm Prediction Center has a level 1 and level 2 risk in place for both today and tomorrow. It's still conditional, in my opinion, for tonight, just because of we have to see just kind of how, long the cap holds and how things kind of progress. We're watching storms out in Minnesota moving potentially in here overnight. So it's isolated to scattered and conditional. Now tomorrow, it's a level 1 risk for most of the area, level 2 risk from Winona to Neillsville and points southeast. And then for Sunday, a couple of thunderstorms possible to the southeast, but otherwise Sunday is going to be mostly dry outside of a few pop-up showers and storms. The hazards for today and tonight, mostly overnight into tomorrow morning. Again, today's outlook goes until 7 a.m. Saturday. There is a very, very low tornado risk to the northwest. I can't rule it out, but the ingredients are not really supportive for a really big tornado threat or even a marginal tornado threat. So I'm not overly concerned about that. There could be some hail up to about $1/4 to $1/2 size, and there could be a few damaging wind gusts between as high as 50 to 70 miles per hour. And then for tomorrow, again, not expecting a tornado risk, and there's no risk defined by the Storm Prediction Center. Maybe some hail again up to about $1/2 size and damaging wind gusts up to 50, 60, maybe an isolated gust to 70 miles per hour. So be sure to have ways to get those alerts just in case we do get strong to severe storms to develop, and especially if you know someone or yourself maybe are going to be outdoors, out camping, things like that as we head into at least the first half of the weekend. So your hotel forecast today, high temperatures, upper 80s and lower 90s, maybe mid 90s south and west. And then tonight we're only falling back to the low to mid 70s. So unfortunately, it's not going to drop a whole lot tonight. Tomorrow, though, again, not as warm. It's still going to be very humid. We'll have highs in the low to mid 80s. But again, depending on the cloud and shower and storm coverage, I wouldn't be surprised if these numbers were closer to 80 or maybe even in the 70s in some cases. But for right now, we're going to settle with low to mid 80s. And then for Sunday, we'll be a little bit warmer, just by a couple of degrees, with mostly mid 80s in the forecast. We should see a little more sunshine and less shower and storm chances. And then early next week, just 20% daily chances for some pop-up showers and storms. We'll have highs in the mid 80s, lows in the mid 60s, which is above our average, as you can see there on the top of your screen.